So I was asked to say a couple words for about some of my experiences as a military chaplain, Air Force chaplain for over 19 years. I've been deployed several times for Chanukah, and I just want to take two quick stories and share. I think those are pretty typical for the Jewish world for Chanukah, because the thing is that Chanukah is one of those holidays where Jews come out from everywhere, and you would never see them any other time of year, and they come and they join for Chanukah. You know, the Christians have the CNE Christians. Well, that's our equivalent of Chanukah and Passover. So, in 1999, I did a tour of the Persian Gulf. And I went to Saudi Arabia, went to Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, and UAE within a week. And I did a Chanukah thing wherever I went, and one of the places was in Saudi Arabia. So it was a beautiful base, and we had the Chanukah menorah and everything else, and so the chaplain staff had advertised the Chanukah event, and so this one guy came up there. There were about 5 or 6 people there, and one guy came up there, and he knew every single prayer, he knew every single song, clearly had a Jewish background. So I started talking to him and said, because most Jews in the military do not have a very strong Jewish background. And so he did, and it turns out that, yeah, he had come from a traditional family. He was sort of trying to leave the fold a little bit, so he joined the military, but he came back for Chanukah. And we had a nice little conversation, and so reconnected a little bit. But this is so typical that Jews who don't show up any other time come in for Chanukah. Another quick story, what happened in 2009, I was in Afghanistan. That was also just a Chanukah thing. I was there for like 2.5 weeks. And this woman came up to me, because there were about 6 or 7 people there. Most people there the same nights, and one woman was there night after night after night, and so obviously at some point I want to hear her story, you know. So it turns out that she wasn't even Jewish. She was just searching for faith. And so she came to learn a little bit about Judaism and see what we did. And the funny thing is that she and I made a lunch date, quote unquote. You know, we had lunch together the next day at the dining facility. One of the wonderful things about being deployed is you have all these opportunities just to talk to folks. And so she came to me and she asked me about faith. You know, what should she believe in terms of faith? Now I need to tell you all that Jews don't evangelize, so she came to the wrong person. So I asked her, well, what do you believe in terms of faith? And where are you coming from? And that was not what she wanted to hear. So we talked more about her faith than about my faith. And I think that when we left, she was more of a question mark than anything else. But the point is still, you know, people show up. People who come from any kind of Jewish background, people who are searching. You create a situation where you create a sense of normality and a sense of stability to these people who are deployed, often for 6 months to a year away from their families. So those are just 2 of the stories I wanted to share, and thank you very much, Rabbi, for letting me talk.